Alright, my '05 Corolla, got a check engine lights on, and it is a PO43E code. And so when I looked it up, it has to do with the vent canister, the flow on it. You can also see I've got 299,999 on the clock, but these models quit at that. The trip meter still works, but the odometer is just frozen there at that. So we're not worried about it. I keep track of it. I've got a little over 306,000 miles on it. Okay, so over here at the charcoal canister, this is the type of canister that you have. This unit actually has a pump, a vacuum pump, and a air solenoid, or your vent valve, in the same, in this little unit right here. So it's 3 bolts that hold it on. And if you look at the pin connector on this thing, this is where I had trouble trying to find online. There's your pin layout. And so if we come over here and look at my nifty little drawing that I had on the old one, I didn't have any continuity on any of these 4 pins, and so 3 of your pins are for your fuel pressure switch. These 2 pins are going to be for your little vacuum pump, and these 2 pins up here are going to be for your vent valve. So if I come over here, another little drawing as I tore it apart and was able to check to verify on the new one, you're going to get about 28.1 ohms for the vent solenoid, and the red and the black over here for your little air pump or your vacuum pump is 55.79. Now if you take this unit, it actually has a band around this thing, so it's not really serviceable. I just took and broke the band off and waited till I got mine apart. So if you take and pull this thing apart, hard to do this one-handed. So if you pull it apart and you look at the connectors on the bottom, there'll actually be a spring on top of this thing wherever my old spring went to. And you ohm out the terminals. These 2 right here are for your vacuum pump. These 2 up here for your solenoid, and just ohm them out for whatever, see whatever pin that they actually line up with. And so that's how that's supposed to work on that little chart. It's actually a 10-pin connector. They only utilize 7 of the terminals. So this little pump is only going to run one way. So you hook up the positive and the negative, and this pump actually will run and the solenoid will energize. But when I had the cap on it and I was ohming out the old one, I didn't have any continuity on those 4 terminals, but that was the continuity that I had on those 3 terminals. And it didn't matter positive, negative lead, trying to read continuity. So I did pull it apart, and the pump does work and the solenoid does work. I just tested it with a 9-volt battery. It's about 303,000 miles on it. I don't know what's going on between that cap, between that plug and that cap, but when I was trying to read on that plug, I'm not getting any continuity. So Summit Racing did have this assembly on here. I wasn't going to buy Dorman because I know how old Eric O is for Dorman, and found it on Summit Racing for $177 just for this, your pump and vent valve and fuel pressure switch or fuel pressure sensor all in this one unit, and they may just go ahead and replace it. Well, I found it through a Toyota dealership at it was what was this one? This was Lafayette Toyota, or LaGrange Toyota in Georgia. So there we go. And I paid it was $183.49 for it, and that was with shipping. And so that was a far better deal. And this is an OEM Toyota that I got. So if we get up underneath here and see, and there's the brand new unit. So I went ahead and cleared the code, and hopefully that fixes my problem. Later.